Good evening, my lovely things. Welcome back or welcome to the cavern. I'm Kasara, bringing the tragic, strange, and horrifying content at times. To the new subscribers, thank you for your support. Welcome to the Fangdom. To those of you just tuning in, don't forget to click the subscribe and like buttons to help the channel and myself. It's a huge help and much appreciated. Tonight's true crime case is a tragic one that occurred on August 5th, 2020, so 4 years ago. A deadly fire occurred early that morning in the 5300 block of Truckee Street in the Green Valley Ranch neighborhood of Northeast Denver. The fire killed Jibril Diul, age 29, his wife Aja, age 23, their 2-year-old daughter Khadija, Jibril's sister Hassan, age 25, and her 6-month-old daughter Hawa Bay. The case was cold for months until the police had a break in the case after a search warrant was served to Google, which led them to the 3 teenage suspects. The 3 suspects had searched for the exact address, 5312 Truckee Street, multiple times in the 2 weeks prior to the deadly fire. Kevin Bowie and Gavin Seymour were 16 years of age at the time of the fire. The youngest suspect in the group was Dylan Siebert, who was 14 years old at the time of the fire that killed the members of the Deal family, which are behind me. Investigators believe the 3 suspects targeted the wrong house, trying to get revenge for a stolen cell phone and kill the family, including the children, for no apparent reason. Bowie and Seymour used an app to locate Bowie's stolen cell phone, which is what led them to search for and set fire to the wrong house. Bay's husband, Amadou Bay, was the only one left alive, along with Jibril's father. Bowie and Seymour were charged as adults in the Denver District Court. Siebert was sentenced to 7 years in youth offender services and was actually charged and sentenced as an adult, but him serving the 7 years in youth offender services but no other prison term has me kind of confused. But the afternoon that the verdict was given in juvenile court, it was actually changed from 7 years to 3 years that he would have to serve in the Division of Youth Services. He also faces a suspended sentence of 26 years in Youth Offender Services, which he'll only have to serve if he violates the terms of his 3-year sentence. Doesn't seem harsh enough to me. But anyways, Amadou Bay, unhappy with the verdict, stated, and I quote, "I trusted the system and I just feel like the system doesn't value certain people's lives," end quote. Usman Ba, a spokesperson for the family, quoted saying they were peacefully sleeping in their home, no connection to anything, and they were burned alive. This is what we get out of it. This is what we call justice in this country, end quotes. Ba continued on to say that they wanted the suspect to go through the process, go through a jury, and let the state decide with all of the evidence that came out of it. However, it was 3 years since the tragedy, now 4, and the family still hasn't found peace or closure in the case. Seymour received a 40-year sentence, which is the maximum sentence allowed. He was also sentenced to 5 years of mandatory parole and will get credit for time already served. Kevin Bowie's case is still pending currently as of March 15th of this year. However, he faces counts of first-degree murder with extreme indifference, attempted murder with extreme indifference, burglary, assault, and assault with a deadly weapon. Sorry, I can't talk tonight. What are your thoughts on this tragic case? Do you think the 3 suspects should receive harsher penalties, or do you agree with the verdicts thus far? I feel for the surviving members. I can't imagine what they must be going through or experiencing. I mean, having lost your children and grandchildren, and for Amadou losing his wife and child and brother-in-law and niece. I can't imagine how hard it must be living without them. I know the perpetrators were teenagers when they committed the crime, but they knew what they were doing. I'm sorry. When a 14-year-old, 12-year-old, they know right from wrong. When they commit crimes, I hate how we feel like they're children and don't know any better. I don't know about you, but when I was a teenager, I knew what was right and wrong. Even when I was 12, I knew what was right and wrong. Yes, peer pressure can play a role in it, but no one forces them to say yes when it comes to peer pressure. They can say no. Just because your friends are going to do something doesn't mean you say yes to everything that they want to do. And it could be that I'm biased in terms of this because I was one of the few that actually did say no to everything when I was a teenager. I got called a straight edge a lot. And my friends actually called me mom. Like, not as a term of endearment, it was an insult. Because when they would ask me for advice, I reminded them of their mother. Yeah. So I was more mature for my age, I guess you could say. But that could be why I'm biased in this regard. My friends didn't have that same luxury, I guess. They did party, they did put themselves in some risky situations because of peer pressure. It happens, but they should be held accountable for their actions at the same time. They shouldn't be given a slap on the wrist. I mean, they destroyed people's lives and ended lives in this case. At the same time, I don't think teenagers should be put in adult prisons because it typically has more negative impacts on their mental health and causes more damage to their ability to be rehabilitated. Not that the juvenile justice system is any better, because it's not. I honestly don't agree with the justice system as a whole. I think it needs to be redone. What do you think? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. I'll leave links to the case in the description for those of you who want to keep track of the outcomes. If you have a case, movie, or game you'd like me to cover or watch or play or whatever, let me know in the comments. I do appreciate these suggestions and we'll look into them. Next week, we'll be finishing up arson cases and moving on to something else for April. Not entirely sure what as of right now. If you would like, I can delve into crimes that teenagers and children commit and whether it's nature or nurture or both involved in these types of cases. I will say this is that is actually one heated debate, is whether it's nature or nurture that causes criminal activity. For me, 9 times out of 10, it honestly seems to be a mix of both, but at the same time, I think if the serial killers came from different types of homes, they wouldn't have committed, the crimes, and that's what I'm trying to I'm using them because I know their backgrounds were horrifying, such as Gacy. Gacy had a horrifying childhood. He went through hell, which played a huge role in the crimes he committed as an adult. I have actually a whole bunch more that I could go into, but we're not going to go into that right here. So if you'd like me to cover that type of stuff, let me know in the comments and I can delve into that. I also have knowledge of violent video games and if they do have an effect on our youth. Same with music. So if you have an interest or if you have a specific topic that you'd like me to research or discuss, let me know in the comments below. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Take care until next time. Bye, everyone.